I should go for burger. Maybe pizza. Too much carbs though. Ooh, that's a good deal. Oh. Looks familiar? Yep. That foggy, done for the day feeling has a name. Decision fatigue. But is it actually real, or is your brain just being dramatic? Hi, I'm Lama, and I'm a science storyteller. Decision fatigue is the idea that the more choices you make throughout the day, the harder it gets for your brain to keep making good ones. It's like your mental battery slowly drains, leaving you more impulsive as the day goes by. That's why Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day, to avoid wasting brain power on low-stakes decisions. And that's why so many productivity hacks focus on simplifying routines or keeping snacks around to keep your so-called well-powered tank from running empty. I mean, it sounds legit. But the science? It's not that simple. Take this massive study from Sweden's national healthcare line. Researchers analyzed over 140,000 calls made by nurses working long shifts, making non-stop decisions about who needed care, who could wait, and where to send people. If decision fatigue were at play, you'd expect their decisions' quality to drop off by the end of the day. More shortcuts and more just go to the ER answers. But that's not what happened. The nurses' decisions stayed consistent, start to finish. So, does that mean decision fatigue is just a myth? Not exactly. It may just not show up the same way for everyone or in every setting. Even if your decision making doesn't totally fall apart, you've probably still felt that mental crash, where even sending a text feels like climbing a mountain. That's something a bit different. It's called cognitive fatigue, and it's broader than just decision making. It's what happens when your brain has been working hard for a while, especially on mentally demanding tasks. In one study, participants had to do a memory task that kept getting harder. Afterward, they had to choose between a tough task with a big reward or an easier one with a smaller payoff. And once they were mentally tired, they stopped going for the harder option. Their brain just went, nah, let's just keep it easy. So what's happening under the hood? Two brain regions stood out during that experiment. The prefrontal cortex, often called your brain CEO. It helps with focus, planning, and powering through hard stuff. The anterior insula, your internal effort monitor. It tracks how hard something feels and whether it's worth doing. As people got mentally tired, the anterior insula lit up more, basically saying, ugh, this feels just a lot. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex got quieter, which means that the brain didn't give up. It just adjusted course. It started choosing what felt easier, even if it wasn't the most rewarding option. Now let's talk about dopamine, because it does play a big role here too. You might have heard dopamine called the feel-good chemical, but that's not only it. Dopamine helps your brain decide whether the effort of something is worth the reward. When dopamine is flowing, you're more likely to chase big goals. But when it dips, because you're tired, overwhelmed, or stressed, those same goals feel way harder. You might still want the reward, but your brain goes like, ugh, not worth the trouble. And it's your brain's way of protecting its limited mental resources. So what's the verdict? The old school idea that your brain has a willpower tank that just runs out, that's been challenged. But the feeling of mental exhaustion, the tendency to avoid tough decisions when your brain's been working over time, that's very real. And it's not laziness, it's your brain managing its energy budget. So, what can you do when you feel that mental exhaustion? Simplify small decisions. Use routines for things like meals or clothes. It gives your brain one less thing to figure out. Take real breaks, not scrolling breaks. Step away, move your body, or stare at a plant. Yeah, really. Reconnect to your why. When everything feels like too much, reminding yourself why something matters can make it easier to keep going. Mental fatigue isn't failure. It's your brain managing energy the best way it knows how. So work with it, not against it. And hey, next time when you don't know what to eat, just go for your favorite meal. If you want science that's easy to understand, fun, and actually useful in your everyday life, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.